Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Captain's Drive, the Captain's Log, the Daily Drive. Called that because here it is. It's my daily drive or my regular drive to work. I'm pulling out of my home and heading to the Orlando International Airport. So I've got about I don't know, about a 30-minute drive. Uh, got to check in about 45 minutes. So I'm cutting it kind of close. I usually give myself an hour so that I don't have to rush. Uh, but it's a Sunday, and I was a little slow to the start, so here I go. Um, on this trip, I'm going to be going up to. On this trip, I'm going to be going up to Birmingham, Alabama, and I'm going to spend the night. I'll have a short layover, less than 13 hours, so about 12, 13 hours. It's enough time to get to the hotel, have a nice dinner, maybe have a beer, relax, and then get a good night's sleep. I'll pop a melatonin. I love those melatonins. They help me sleep well. Get a solid 8 hours of sleep. Be rested because tomorrow there's a big day ahead. Tomorrow we go from um, Birmingham to Chicago's Midway Airport. Always challenging because it's one of our shortest runways in the system. And I'm probably flying with a newer guy because this is not a high paying trip. So the senior guys get rid of it quickly, and um, the junior guys end up getting stuck with it. So we'll go to Chicago's Midway Airport. From Chicago's Midway Airport, we're going to fly to Buffalo, New York. And after Buffalo, New York, I'll fly home to Orlando. So Birmingham, Midway, Buffalo, Orlando. That's my next 2 days. That typically pays 13 hours. So our rig is about 6.5 hours per day, unless there are any changes to that schedule. And if there are changes due to weather, delays, and whatnot, then there's additional compensation. The company I work for takes really good care of us. I'm really blessed to work here and be part of this group. I work with a lot of professional people, and everybody here is at the top of their game. Company takes really good care of us, so we take care of the company. That's just the way it is. Um, on this drive, I would like to revisit a conversation that we had, um, or a short video that we had not that long ago regarding professionalism. Um, More and more, I just see that in everything that I do with the younger generation, and excuse me, and I would like to address that one more time. Um, Professionalism comes in many forms, ladies and gentlemen. For the flight instructors that are out there right now, and the aspiring commercial pilots, private pilots, um, instrument pilots, airline transport pilots, ATPs. Um, there's always room for improvement, and um, the professionalism comes in different ways, and it's in the details. For example, look at my situation today. I have a check in 45 minutes. Well, I feel that giving myself, um, I'm sorry, in let's see, what time is it? I have a check in 45 minutes, and I should be there 15 minutes ahead of schedule. Well, that's cutting it kind of close, because things can happen on the road. So you need to anticipate. I have a responsibility to my employer to be there on time and to be prepared and to be rested and to be ready to provide the service that we provide to our passengers. And my part is to be there on time and to be physically fit so that my employer can depend on me and the passengers can depend on me. So getting there 15 minutes early may sound good, and as long as everything works out great, that's great. But if I gave myself a little extra time, you know, maybe be there 30 minutes early, that leaves a little bit of room for contingency if something happens. Flat tire, an accident on the road, congestion in traffic. Uh, it could be anything. Anything could happen. So I look at that as part of my professionalism, my desire to be there on time and to be ready to do my job. I feel great. I think I slept 10 hours last night. Uh, I've had a nice, relaxing day. I've been working in my yard and, transplanting some rescued plants. It's kind of my thing, you guys. Uh, I rescue plants that have been left to just wither and die on the side of the road. Don't know why, but I like it. I like putting them in a new pot with fresh soil and nursing them back. I have a big yard now, so finding a uh, nice pot. Each of these plants have a story for me, and I remember where they were rescued from, and I could see them bloom and turn into something more, rather than be discarded into the trash. Even if I've never done it, but I guess if I don't find a place for them on my property, I could always just go plant them somewhere in the wild where they can thrive. It's no different than saving an animal, right? It's a living thing. Um, in any case, I really enjoyed that today. I had a good time, so I feel good about it. Um, Additional things for professionalism, aside from being on time and showing up prepared and being physically fit to do your job. Um, I recently had a checkout where the young man did very well. Um, but because of rushing, he skipped on a few things. For example, he skipped on folding the seatbelts on the airplane, folding the seatbelts, the lap belts, and then putting the seatbelts on the shoulder harness over the top. There's a over the shoulder. There's an area where you stow the seatbelts. It's good to fold them and put them back in place. That lets the next guy know that you took time and care to um, to do that, and it shows that you care for the airplane, picking up any trash or anything that's left around you. So the same thing in this big jet. When I go to work, it's very important that um, it is very important that I show that same type of courtesy to my fellow pilots. The next captain that comes in that plane, he doesn't want to find an empty bag of Doritos or used napkin or old pens or pencils. I need to clean my area before I leave and leave it better than when I arrived. And even if the guy before me didn't fold the seatbelt and do all that and leave the seat neat, I should do it because it reflects on me. And that's the level of professionalism that I strive for. It doesn't make me better than anyone, but the challenge is not between you and the next person. The challenge is between you and yourself. And I always talk to my kids about this, and I say, look, the battle is between your past self, present self, and your future self. So who's going to win the battle? Are you going to revert to old habits, old vices? Are you going to go back and do the things that mess you up to begin with in the past? Are you going to stay stuck in your current situation because you're comfortable? You know, it's a good scenario. It's a good situation. You feel relaxed. Nobody bothers you. It's an okay situation. Yeah, I'm just going to stick around and not do anything different. Or are you going to strive to improve yourself and your situation and improve your surroundings and the surroundings for other people? I would like to think that my future self will always win, for better or for worse, right? That's the honest truth. But the present self is in a very comfortable situation right now, and it's really easy for me to just, yeah, this is good enough. I'm going to coast here, but I try to strive just to do a little bit more each day. It doesn't have to be a lot. You don't have to reinvent yourself or change your entire life. We're only talking about a percent, a half of a percent, a half of a percent. Just get up and do something productive every day. Something, just something for you to improve. It could be get up early and get your laundry washed, folded, and put away. It's out of the way. It could be making your bed, doing your laundry, and putting the stuff away. Take a broom and or vacuum and sweep or vacuum your room or mop your room. Do something. And if it's Sunday, if you're going to be working tomorrow, then do something to help you for tomorrow. I don't know, organize your briefcase, your desk, whatever it is you're going to use. If you're wear a shirt and tie, you know, iron your shirt, have it ready, dress it up, put it on a hanger, have it ready, so that tomorrow that's one less thing that you have to do. 1% every day. Imagine if every day you did 1% more for yourself. Imagine after 30 days, you've improved 30%. That's a big deal. It doesn't have to be a whole percent, it could be a half of a percent, just as long as it's got a percentage side next to it. So, for the professionalism on the young guys, uh, don't overlook your appearance. Don't overlook the way you come across to other people. Unfortunately, we judge a book by its cover. If the guys that I was working with the last few days, these are commercial pilots. They're young, uh, and they're building their experience, but they were clean cut, they were shaven, they had nice haircuts, they had nice clothes, they were dressed, casual, but they were dressed and they were clean. That's good. That's a good appearance. You know, um, they are expecting a certain level from me because of how old I am and because of what I do. So I gotta admit, I wasn't like dressed stellar or anything, but you know, put on a polo shirt, put on a pair of slacks, look your part, show up, and um, just look your part. Be that person that you want to be later on. If you're a flight instructor right now, things are tough. Things are tough. There's not a whole lot of training going on. The industry has kind of slowed down a bit. If you don't have a flight instructing job, it's hard to get students. That is the truth. Um, in our operation, we've got several airplanes. We have an open CFI clause. We have 6 instructors, and um, the idea is that they're going to bring their students and fly my airplanes. So I make my airplanes as affordable as possible so that their students are enticed to come and fly with us. But there's only been a handful of we've only been able to acquire a handful of students. My instructors have had a difficult time finding um, students for themselves, and that's kind of troublesome. I didn't think that they would have such a hard time, but I understand because I've had a hard time too. I'm also out there in social media, and I'm also out there trying to promote the club, and it's just a very slow process. So in the meantime comes in that professionalism. In the meantime, what you do is you continue to improve on yourself and your product. Um, in my case, I have control over the airplanes and their condition. So I am constantly upgrading equipment, uh, installing whatever avionics I could add to them. So I'm installing equipment. I am uh, making sure I keep up with the maintenance. Uh, improving the appearance of the airplanes because you can't wait until you have a student to make these positive changes. You want to have these changes in place so that when a student comes, they look at it and say, oh, wow, the airplane looks really nice. It's very well taken care of. And then they'll take better care of it, and it'll reflect on the whole operation. So just like uh, being the person that you want to be down the road, don't wait till you have an airline job to act like an airline pilot. Don't wait till you're a commercial pilot to act like you're a commercial pilot or a private pilot or an instrument pilot or airline transport pilot. Whatever your goal is, study that. You know, look at the corporate pilots out there. Look at how they dress. Look at how they behave. You know, if you're a corporate pilot, you're more connected with the customer, with your passenger. That passenger, um, you know, is a corporate aircraft owner, is probably a wealthy person. So you need to up your game and know how to conduct yourself amongst elite people. You know, take a class if you have to. Talk to your older folks, uncles, aunts, moms and dads, you know, have conversations because if you're interacting with a guy my age, you know, you need to have some things to talk about. You need to know the kind of conversations that are you're going to be part of. And you know, the if you do your homework and you're able to have those conversations, you know, I like to talk about golf. I'd like to talk about aviation. I like to talk about business. I like cryptocurrencies, investing, you know, anything business related. I like all of those topics. So have a few canned answer, not answers, but canned subjects that you're somewhat familiar with and that you can at least initiate a conversation, you know, because as a corporate pilot, you're going to interact with the owners of these airplanes. And if you're a doofus, you know, you may not be invited after the first flight. You know, you may not be invited again. But if you're, you know, a good conversationalist, if you have a good appearance, if you have a great attitude, if you play a good game of golf, uh, you know, if you can interact, then that will open doors for you. So up your game, take on additional skills. So now you're a commercial pilot and you're building your time. Okay, well, you can't control what's happening to you. You're not getting any flight time, but you can control how you react to that, right? So in the meantime, improve your appearance, lose some weight. Listen, I'm an older guy, you know, and I worry about my appearance and my weight, and I struggle with that all the time. I, as we speak, you know, I'm on this Ozempic for weight loss. I'm trying to reduce my A1C, my blood sugar levels. I'm not diabetic or anything like that, and that's what I'm trying to avoid ever being in that situation. So I'm improving my health. I'm improving my appearance. I never leave the house without being clean shaven, top and bottom. I'm always clean shaven. Uh, I'm always of the opinion that I don't know who I'm gonna meet next. In my environment, I come across thousands of people on a regular basis. You never know who you're gonna meet. You know, heck, I was in Atlanta about 8 months ago, and I met this African American producer. Man, what was his name? Young guy. Uh, I should have thought of his name before I mentioned it, but Spike Lee, and he looked so humble and relaxed, and I kept thinking, man, I know that guy, and I really admire his work. He's made many good films. Um, he's a very talented person, and I have respect for him. When I saw him, I walked up and I asked to take a picture, and I said hello, blah, blah. Okay, that was great, and he agreed. He took some photos. Um, I look good, I smell good, I had a good appearance, and look at that. Who would have thought that that day I was going to meet Spike Lee? I've met other actors. I've met Harrison Ford. Um, let's see. I'm so bad with names. I'm great with the faces, but I'm bad with names. Let's just say I've met a bunch of actors on and off, um, and you know, having a good appearance and being clean is definitely something you want. Um, anyways, I think I may be going off topic here. The point is, professionalism is not just in the way you act during a flight. Professionalism is in the way that you conduct yourself at all times. So if you're not flying, what are you going to do for yourself? How are you going to respect yourself? Well, you're going to make sure that you're wearing clean clothing. Make sure that you continually try to improve yourself. Improving yourself could mean getting used to not going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning all the time. Maybe start working on going to bed at reasonable hours. Take up reading, learn a new skill. Develop new interests. You're too young to just stop learning. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. Um, so improve yourself 1% every day. These videos right here is me taking myself up to another level. I am, I don't take myself that seriously. So I don't know that what I have to say is really that important or will have that much of an impact on a younger person. I'm hoping it does, but I'm driving to work, and I have these ideas and thoughts. So if I could put these into a video and I get enough people to appreciate and hit like and subscribe to my channel, then maybe you'll give me ideas on the remarks section. Hey, maybe you should talk about this or talk about that, and give me topics that I could address. Uh, these topics might be uh, something that I could develop and that you guys might be interested in listening to, coming from a guy like me. I'm in my 50s, and I've been in the aviation industry for over 35 years. I've got a lot of experience in aviation, and so uh, at least with an aviation related topic, I do consider myself an expert. So um, if you ever wanted the opinion of somebody in with my experience in the industry, this is an opportunity to do that. Um, if you're having difficulty upping your game as a pilot, whether you're a private pilot, commercial pilot, a certified flight instructor, an airline transport pilot, I have done all of these multiple times. So let's help you get out of that rut. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Put on your remarks. I think there's a way that I could do like a live stream. Oh, guys, I need help with all of that stuff. But if I could do a live stream and interact with people, I would welcome that. Why not? Have conversations with people and just shoot off the hip. I don't need a script. I just talk. Maybe I ramble. I'm just talking what comes to mind. You know, this is just the way I talk all the time. So I'm just having a conversation uh, with myself, you, and the camera. And I would love to know if any of this is having an impact, or if it resonates, or what else I can add to that. Um, but sticking to the topic, professionalism, up your game, 1% every day, physically, mentally, health, your appearance, the way you behave. Stop cussing. Stop talking to people like you're in a public nightclub, or you know what I mean. Stop stop with the street slang. And for those of us that are from the Northeast, we tend to use a lot of cussing words. I've eliminated that from my vocabulary. Nobody respects that, and it's not cool. It's demeaning, and it should not be part of your vocabulary. And if you're a person that curses a lot, cut it out. It's not good. Okay, eliminate it. Be conscious about it. Make an effort. Okay. Well, that's about all I have. I'm a few minutes from the airport. We'll be we'll be pulling into the Orlando International Airport here in just a little bit, and I'll be checking in for work. So I'm really happy that some of you are following me along, and I would really appreciate it if you hit subscribe. It helps me and helps me grow my channel. And talk to your friends, see if they're interested in listening to some of what I have to say, and help me out. Let me know what you would like me to talk to you about. All right. Many blessings. Have a great day. Take care.